So today we have our first interview at the Black Writers Weekend. I'm so happy to meet someone new and interview them about why they came to such a lovely event. Who do we have here today?
My name is Lamont Pete. I serve as head of television, production and development for Sunset Pictures at Warner Brothers Studios.
Fire.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. So tell me, what is the best book you've ever read?
The best book I ever read, now I'm kind of old, I've been around for a little bit. I would probably say I'm a big fan of John Grisham. Outside of that, Alex Haley.
And can you tell us a little bit why you say that's the best book you've ever read?
Well, as someone who's very much into storytelling, I think John Grisham, in some of his earlier novels that actually turned into screenplays, just really had a very good way of capturing real workplace things like within, the legal system or within politics and turn it into something that felt very intentional. As far as Alex Haley, it's roots. You know what I mean? So there it is.
Great answer.
I love history. I'm a big fan of history.
History is how we don't repeat history, and I think that's really important in a generation of minds having literacy issues. So
I love the Odyssey too.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what's the last thing you watched that gave you chills?
Oh, the last thing that I watched that gave me chills. That's a good question. Chills as in it was that good? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, I would probably say, Jesus, you got me stumped on this because there's so many good ones. Okay, but I will say the Odyssey, most recent. Odyssey was great. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology.
Me too.
And I think that the way that they captured that story, I think Christopher Nolan did a great job.
Yeah, he typically creates really powerful work. He's very intentional about how he films things, and even those he chooses to be a part of the films. So I'm not surprised that you chose that person as in that movie and that person. And I also am a huge fan of Greek mythology. Since you touched on that, can I know your favorite Greek mythology persona?
I would probably see Jason and the Golden Fleece.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mine is Persephone. I just think, how lovely would it be not to be stolen by Hades? But I found that kind of romantic. So, okay. Thank you so much for answering those questions. And then I would love to know what inspired you to come to Black Writers Weekend.
I was invited to speak at a few of their other events. I did the one in LA. And, they approached me about this. And I felt it would be great, to be a part of the Black community of writers and creators, especially being in the position that I'm in now. And so, at one point I was on the other side of this trying to get my bearings. And so I always felt like you get to a certain point in your career and you have to keep it going, keep it pushing forward, so that was very important.
That is so beautifully said. It almost feels like your boots on the ground, like keeping base with other Black creatives and screenwriters.
Absolutely.
That's really important from an executive level. I can imagine these are what you look forward to the most, to bring back inspiration,
Absolutely.
I will say what inspired me the most today was watching Tamika Jameson's documentary about Black Writers Weekend. Prior to this festival choosing me as one of the influencers for the event, I had no clue this even existed, and I've lived in Atlanta for 10 years. So I just feel like seeing her talk about the story of doing this as a one-woman band to now having a plethora of people on her team, to production, to news gathering, all around it is just so inspiring. And I also feel like it's good to continue to challenge that thought of Black folks don't read, because we surely do. In order to be as successful as we are here in Atlanta, it requires literacy. But I think I would love to end this interview with one final note. What is the book you would recommend to those watching?
The book that I would recommend to those watching, The Color Purple.
That's a good one.
Watch that one. I think that's a good one.
That's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
If you are a Black person and you have not read The Color Purple, or at least saw the movie, We gotta talk.
We gotta
gotta
talk.
bring you back to the cookout, and we gotta talk. So for me, my book that I'm gonna recommend you guys is Set Boundaries and Find Peace: A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nedra Glover. She's a Black therapist, Black author, and I read that at the top of the year to remind myself that setting boundaries not only protects you, but it protects those that you're dealing with, and boundaries are important, and you should have some. Well, thank you so much for interviewing. And can you tell the folks where they can find you if you want to be found on social media?
You can find me on IG. I am Lamont Pete.
Nice. Thank you so much, Lamont, for your time. And I will see you guys next time.